The older I've gotten, it seems the less I'm concretely certain of. I say that in the most beautiful, humblest way. I wonder if you can relate. What that really means for me is we don't need to have it all figured out. In my opinion, nothing in life is supposed to be mastered, just simply experienced. I've learned many valuable lessons along this 40-year journey, which brings me excitement about what's to learn in the coming 40 years. It's been a roller coaster of magical, unbelievable, memorable moments. And although this sounds very cliche, I wouldn't change or alter a single experience. It's important to note that includes the ugly, unbearable, hard, and hurtful times. I've learned so much within all of my memories, simply because everything has grown me and assisted in helping me become the better version of myself. There's a few ideas I will happily share and which have shaped the way I view everything about life. We are all a work in progress every day of our lives. So we need to stop beating ourselves up over failures and low vibrational moments we experience. If it's too good to be true, it almost always is. We must learn to trust ourselves. And when our instinct speaks to us through our souls, it's important to act on that little quiet voice within. When you get, give, and when you learn, teach. Those are words spoken from the great Maya Angelou. Approach everything with humility and grace. If everything we do is done from a place of purpose and intent, we've already achieved. The answer to everything is God. It's important to understand the concept behind putting it all in God's hands, while standing firm in your faith that God will never leave you and he will never forsake you. I don't believe as human beings we are expected to be always super strong and resilient 100% of the time, which is why when it all feels bigger than you, place it in the arms of the highest, the Almighty God. And although I have a ton more I could share, most importantly, I want everyone to always know love is the cure. Love is the answer to any and every humane question without the shadow of a doubt. Self-love is the utmost valuable part of anyone's life. Loving oneself is a constant. It's never something that's mastered and it's never going to be endless. It's important that we all choose love over everything, to love ourselves throughout the many layers and stages of our lives. That means throughout the good and bad, beautiful and ugly, hard and wonderful, and the ups and the downs. Loving ourselves is about showing up for yourself. It's about respecting and honoring ourselves. It's about being honest with ourselves about who we are inside and out. It's about the person we are when nobody is watching and really showing comfort and care to that person. It's about setting boundaries for ourselves and about ourselves from others. It seems the most challenging times in which we are loving ourselves is when we incorporate others into our lives. This includes romantic relationships, work relationships, friendships, and platonic friendships, as well as family relationships. It's in those spaces where loving ourselves needs to be something that we display in its highest, most profound way. This being because we teach people how to treat us by how we view and treat ourselves. Unfortunately, many of these things I'm sharing that hold true and valuable to me have been lessons I've learned the very hard way. When I would hear others speak about self-love, I always thought that meant taking care of yourself, but mostly from an aesthetics point of view, such as making sure your nails are done and making sure my hair is done and things like that. Life has proven that to be a very small portion of what taking care of ourselves truly means. I never understood what self-care meant on an internal, mental, and soulful level. I spent almost 15 years in a situation that I somehow managed to convince myself was a relationship in which I was in love with this man. I wonder who can relate. Far too often, I've been told by friends, family, and even strangers in shared places that they can relate to that exact same feeling and that exact same dynamic. Love has many layers to it, but we need to be clear. When a person loves one another, respect and loyalty are never wavered. That's a strong opinion I have about true love that I stand concretely about. I've been lied to, cheated on, and even made a fool of. But what I had to understand was that I wasn't a victim. I was a willing participant in all of the foolishness that I allowed to break my heart. And that's when I had to dig deep. I had to ask myself the why. Why am I allowing this? Why am I settling for this? Why am I holding on to this? Why am I minimizing and turning a blind eye to this disrespect? There was only one answer. I wasn't loving me. When you truly love yourself and you don't let anyone or anything dishonor you, big or small, that's when you show how much you really care and love yourself. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you react to being treated. Being treated with disrespect only has one logical reaction. When you love yourself, you cut the cancerous behavior from your life and continue on. You don't pacify or excuse someone dishonoring you. My biggest hope of everything I've shared is that I've somehow helped another fellow person. Or at the very least, I've given someone another way to look at what it really means to love yourself enough to put yourself first. Remember to look in the mirror every single day and smile at the beautiful reflection you see. That person who's looking back at you is the most important person in your life. That person deserves everything life has to offer, and their potential is limitless. That person deserves endless love and all things beautiful. I love you. Note to self. I'm very grateful for this cohort and the platform it has provided for myself and many others whom are looking to share our stories in hopes of empowering one another. I appreciate you taking the time for allowing me to share my heart with you all. Thank you.